Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 8 of ILR2 Xbox for Season 5. And here for the Italian Grand Prix, Temple of Speed, as they call it. And tonight, alongside me, as always, is Burnout28, or Ben. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing alright, Dom. How are you tonight?
Oh, we're pretty good. Should be in for a good old race round here at Monza. At the moment, it's set to Monaco, but I'm sure that'll be fixed very soon. And hopefully, we aren't going to go racing at Monaco because half the field probably won't finish. But yeah, Monza, if it is Monza, which it definitely should be, and it definitely will be, one of those circuits where we're going to have plenty of overtaking opportunities, plenty to watch, plenty battles to watch, and hopefully we don't jinx it already because I can mention all these sort of things. But you never know; it might be a bit dull. But anyway, Ben, let's talk about Monza as a circuit. Where are the key overtaking opportunities around this circuit?
Well, you've got obviously turn one, obviously heavy braking zone after a huge long straight with DRS available. You've also got turn four, which is the second chicane, and also going into Ascari if you dare. But then also the final corner as well. If you manage to get alongside someone before the DRS zone, then you should be able to get a move. But you will probably find it most important. The most important overtaking spots will probably be turn one and turn four for tonight.
Definitely, yeah. And in terms of Monza, the circuit, lots of history around the circuit. It's been on the F1 calendar for many years, and it's been there pretty much since F1's inception. So, it should be a cracking race. This one it always shows, even in real life, decent races. I mean, we've had some pretty lackluster races in the past in real life, but last year's race in 2018 was absolutely incredible. So this should be hopefully an absolute cracker. In regards to the championship, that's something that's really important. After last week, we had going into last race in Germany, we had Jackson leading the championship with Overkills behind him in second, and both those guys didn't finish the race last time out. So the championship at the top has not really changed, and the same with Bacon Yum. He's in third place in the championship right now. He didn't finish in the points at all. But the biggest guy who gained so much last week was LCR Mulder. He won the race in Germany. It was a fantastic drive by him, really well controlled. He lost his lead at the start of the race going into San Juan, but he came back through and actually won that race in the end, which was brilliant, and that's closed the gap up now in the championship. He's now only 33 points away from the top from Jackster in the lead of the championship, and he's only 13 points from making it into top three. So he's really he really looked in last week, got in the points, and when others didn't finish, he scored really well, and he's now closed up in the championship. And he had a few pretty meh races beforehand. He didn't start in Great Britain. He didn't actually get in the points in Austria. So he had a really good race last time out in Germany, so let's see what he can do this weekend. And again, with the Amazement last week doing well in second place, he won't be racing this week at all. But again, he put in a very good performance last weekend as well. But looking down the order, we've obviously got Maestro in sixth, we've got ST Will in seventh, LCR Brobson in eighth, ninth for Chris Michael Jones, 10th for IK91, and then we've got Clone Troop in 11th, BRR Hamilton in 12th. Vishak Kushmania in 13th, Josu in 14th, and Ninja in 15th, Aaron Dazzler in 16th, Kaizi in 17th, Antibeacon in 18th, and then we've got Minty in 19th, and Catherine, who's no longer participating in the league, is in 20th. So that's our order for the championship. And in terms of the championship, I mean, we were going into Germany last week as a three-way battle for the championship, and now I think it's blown quite open now. I think there's now at least 4 and even possibly 5 contenders for potentially the championship. I mean, on the Amazement can't make it tonight, but I definitely think there's at least 4 contenders now in that top 4 that can go for the championship.
Yeah, I think you'll see where everyone starts to ramp up now. I've only got a few more races now. I'm not too aware how many. But we are coming towards the end of the season, obviously with F1 2019 on the horizon. You're going to see everyone start to up their game now, and it's going to be about who wants it most now. I think Mulder now he's got that bit of motivation from Germany. I think you'll see him also be on full attack tonight, and it should be a really interesting race between the top four in the championship.
Definitely, yeah, and I think Mulder's put in obviously a great performance last time out, but I think we're going to see. I mean, Jaxter's got some great pace. Overkill, as always, is insanely quick. So it's going to be a hard. I think the top four definitely are going for it, and with 4 races to go, the championship is still on the cards. Definitely not as interesting as last season, Ben, when we had like 8 people going for the championship at one point. But it's still going to be a thrilling contest towards the end of the season, and we'll see who is going to be the ones to beat. I think that's going to be the big thing. So, in regards to sort of the Constructors' Championship, if you look at that as well, obviously we've got Toro Rosso who now lead it by one digit, just they've got up to 14 points ahead of McLaren, and then we've got Sauber in third. So very tight between the top 3 teams there. And then obviously further back we've got the Ferrari in 4th, Mercedes in 5th, Force India in 6th, Williams in 7th, Haas, Renault and Red Bull at the rear. So it's all pretty tight at the rear of the championship and the Constructors' Championship anyway, but there's at least 3 teams going for it for the actual Constructors' Championship in the end. So thoroughly going to be interesting to see how things go. Toro Rosso have got a very consistent pairing, and McLaren obviously, Overkill has been scoring the majority of the points. However, BR Hamilton has been scoring very good points recently. In Great Britain he came 3rd, and in Germany he came 9th. But right now, let's turn our eyes back to the screens and let's stop talking about championship and everything like that. Let's turn our heads to the action on track. We're in qualifying right now at Monza. We've got F1 Maestro right there currently in the Ferrari, home of the Tifosi, home of Ferrari. He's currently going around Cover Grande right now, and he'll be saying probably his first provisional lap times. And again, as we've mentioned previous times in qualifying, the initial runs are pretty much just banker laps. They're not really going flat out, as Maestro goes really wide out of the second chicane there. But luckily doesn't go into the gravel too far and spin his car out. He's okay. He's continuing on as he goes through the Lesbos, as he goes through those double right-handers. But he's doing alright. I think this lap's not going to be representative at all. He's pretty much backed out of it from what I can see of it, but he'll probably still be going for it. He's on those tips of tyres, but again, we do expect people to kind of switch between tyre compounds throughout the whole session as the track gets a little bit more rubbed in, and obviously there's a time to start the tumble. So we'll keep with F1 Maestro here as he goes through this long straight. Plenty of straights down here at Monza, hence why they call it the Temple of the Speed. And now he's into the last corner now. Parabolica. And Kismay goes to on a 19.813, so he starts with qualifying with a 19, a good lap there. Now F1 Maestro won't be anywhere near that, it's even going to be a 1 minute 22.6, so nothing spectacular at the moment, but obviously he made that mistake on the lap, and it probably isn't pushing that much around here at the moment. He's probably just trying to get his eye in at the moment. We've got Chris Jones out there currently as well in the Mercedes. He's been relatively consistent. He had a great move. He actually had a really good race in Germany last time out. Pulled off some fantastic moves as Mulder now goes top on a 19.5. He pulled off some fantastic moves last time out with Chris Jones, and let's hope for some brilliant racing from him once again. He's through Parabolica now. Let's see what sort of lap time he can put on the board. He has to run to the line now. It's going to be a 1 minute 19.9. So the start of the lap not bad, but I think he's actually had that invalidated, so he hasn't put that on the board at all. Josu out there, he's through the last corner now. Let's see what sort of exit he can get. And now Bacon Nim goes up on 19.4 on the soft tyre, so the middle compound available. He's done a pretty good lap there, so it shows again how much people are pushing on those super softs. And I'm just wondering what the Bacon Nim can actually do on the super soft tyre if he does go on that towards the end of the session. It's a very good lap on the soft tyre anyway. Now, B.O. Hamilton is up on 18.957, so times are starting to tumble as people are starting to turn up the engines. Now here comes Jaxter. Let's see what he can do in the Sauber. Across the line, and it's a 19.0, just legit only about half a tenth off what B.O. Hamilton just did there in the McLaren. So, good luck there for B.O. Hamilton. We saw him qualify well last time out in Germany, and they had a good start there, but they didn't manage to deliver on the results in the end. He didn't actually get a good finish in the end, so good qualifying session, good qualifying there from him, and again looking like he's going to get another good position on the grid if he continues that throughout the whole session. So other people out there right now. Overkill's out there. He actually left Shazoo, so he's now all alone now. He's a sole, we call it a sole trader now, a sole driver on his own. So let's see what he can do in the McLaren. He's currently carrying that team at the moment. He's currently second in the championship, 8 points behind. So he'll be looking to try and recuperate some points on the Jaxter and close up on him like he should have done in Germany. So let's see. This lap won't be anything representative. You know what? He come back into pit lane. So everyone's sort of done their initial runs. We've got Kaiser out there in the Red Bull. Let's see what he can do. Through the last corner. Again, looking like not representative. He's coming back into the pit lane. So everyone's done their kind of initial laps. Everyone's back into the pit lane. Gonna probably put on a set of compound, another set of compound tires in there, and go for another run at the end. So probably midway through the session, probably 10 minutes in, they'll probably start going out again and going for it. Dazzler is on it. Let's have a look on board with him. He's currently 13th, hasn't set lap time yet, so let's see what he can do. So through Parabolica now. He's a good exit here. And here comes, runs to the line. Let's see what's going to be, a 1 minute 19.3. So that puts him P3 for now. So on a right lap time by him. He's only, what, 4/10 off the pace of BOR Hamilton. So good lap by him. But he'll be looking to go, and he straight lines actually turn chicane actually there. So that's interesting. Everyone else is now out there on outlaps. F1 Maestro is one of them. He's probably the top leading group of the outlaps. Apart, maybe Mulder's out there as well. So we'll see what Maestro can do. Again, he's currently down in 8th place, but again, that time isn't representative at the moment. Ben, who's your pick for pole position around here?
I mean, it's a bit early to say. Only about 5 minutes in, but Hamilton looking very strong. But I think the rest are not very representative, so we'll probably have to wait till the end of qualifying to see. But at the minute, I think Hamilton is probably the favourite for pole at the minute.
Let's ride on board with F1 Maestro now. He's through the first chicane nicely, gets a very good exit through there. He's now down this long straight curve, Grande next, and it's very hard to get the braking points right down these straights here. So you're gonna brake probably around about the 100-meter board. He brakes down into third gear, turns it in nicely. He's a good exit, doesn't want to run it through to the gravel, but he's okay now through the Lesmos. Lesmo 1 and now Lesmo 2, down into fourth gear, turns it in nicely. He's a good exit, not too wide on the curb, and hits DRS. And he's using all the engine power from that Ferrari power unit. Now we've got the Ascaris Cane, famous. You can make easy mistakes through here. Down into fourth gear, turns it in, hugs the inside, up to 6th on the exit. Don't want to hit that inside curb too quickly. And now it's got a good old exit down here before hitting Parabolica. So let's see how he can get this exit on Parabolica. He brakes just before the 50-meter ball, down into fourth gear instead actually, at the 5th. And he's a little bit of understeer on the car, runs a little bit wide. Let's see where this puts F1 Maestro now. Let's go to the line. It's a 1 minute 19.0, and that's third place. So it's still half a tenth off what BOR Hamilton's done there. What about LCR Mulder? He is on a lap. Let's keep on board with him. He's into the 2 now through the Ascaris chicane. Gets a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but he's okay. Got somebody ahead of him, so this could help him if they actually start too much, but maybe not. They're probably too far ahead. So now into Parabolica, down into fourth gear, turns it in. Now up to 5th, and now 6th. It's a good run, doesn't run it too wide. And there he's running to the line now. What's it going to be at 19? Actually, it's going to be an 18.963. Only 6 thousandths off what BOR Hamilton's just done there. So good lap there by LCR Mulder. And that's put him right in the mix there for pole position. Let's see, the Jackster's out there currently. Let's ride on board with him. Is he actually on a lap? It looks like he is. So current championship leader. Can he put himself? He's currently in P3. Can he put himself close to that top 2? We'll keep on board then through the second chicane now in third gear. The car is looking a little bit lazy for him, but that might be his driving style, more smoother in his approach. Through Lesmo 1. And Lesmo 2 once again down into fourth gear. Turns it in. He's a good exit. Not too wide. Beautifully done. Hits DRS. And downhill, and it goes back uphill as we go under the bridge. And we've got the Ascaris chicane braking at 100-meter ball down into fourth gear, turns it in, up to 5th, so didn't get too much oversteer, and he's done a superb job there. So good exit through the Ascaris chicane. We head down this another straight once again. And he brakes just before the 50-meter ball down into fourth gear, turns it in, shifts up to 5th, and now 6th. That doesn't run it too wide. Let's see what this is going to be to the line. We have 1 minute 18.4, and that is provisional pole. That's a very good lap there by the Jackster. Very smooth, and I noticed that in Germany, he's very smooth on the wheel. There's no jerky movements, very calm. It looks all very slow, but you know what? Slow is fast, and there we go. Very good lap time by the Jackster. Very smooth in his ways and the way he drives the car. So superb job by him. He's now on provisional pole with 6 minutes to go. Pretty much just over 6 minutes to go. He'll be probably popping into the pit lane now to get a fresh set of tyres towards the end of the session, and he'll really go for it towards the end. So everyone looking at this qualifying on super soft tyres. Surprised there's not many people qualifying on the soft tyre, but that might be because it might even be raining for the race. You never know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think the super softs is the softest tyre.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably a track like this, you probably wouldn't want to qualify on the softs. Just maybe just to be able to get a long run on the first stint. But yeah, it could well and truly be raining. But I don't know, maybe the strategy is different than what I think it is. But yeah, makes it interesting. Top, well, I think that's like the top 5. No, sorry, top 11, not even covered by a second. So all close here tonight in F2, and we always say this is like the closest tier in the whole of ILR, and it's definitely backing that up tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We're running ball with Kashmir here. He's another one, a dark horse that can really get up in the mix. He's very quick over one lap, and when he hooks it up, he's great in the race as well. So Kush, let's see what he can do. The VSR driver. Let's see if he can get up in the bunch. He's currently down 19.3. He's 4 tenths off. So got a little bit of time to find if he wants to get up in that top 5. Getting down this straight once again.
He might be going faster, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
It might be a 10th quicker on his on his lap, but it was a 10th up, so we'll see as he crosses the line. Yeah, it's just a 10th quick on his own.
I spent B5 for now, so again, he'll probably pop into. I mean, he might have time to pop into pit lane and get a new set of tyres, but it's gonna be tight actually. I think he's gonna come in and he's got to get it done pretty quickly, so he's going to really go for it on this in lap to really get it done. But everybody else is all in the pit lane. We've got the Bacon Yum out there currently. Let's see what he's doing. So now through Parabolica. He's a good exit here. And he's going to go to the line now at 1 minute 18.7. That is provisional pole for the Bacon Yum. And I'm pretty sure this time last year, he actually had his qualifying destroyed, this time last season, he actually had his qualifying destroyed, and he actually was on for some good pace. So, Bacon Yum, this time last season, I think had a really bad qualifying session, and he came through the field. So, expect to see very much the same from him here. He's got some good pace. He absolutely just destroys that second chicane. That's beautiful lines there. Everybody else in the pit lane, Clone Troop, is he out there at the moment? How's he getting on? He's probably going to be going for a lap here. Let's see what he can do in the meantime. Yeah, he's definitely going for a lap here. Ben, what were you saying?
Sorry, yeah, my controller cut out. I'm not sure how I feel about Bacon Young chronicling like that. Obviously, he's gone out, he left it very, very late, but I'm not sure that's allowed just to, you know, cut the corners there just so you can get an extra lap in. But I think we'd have to see what anyone else thought, but to me that's a bit, you know, cheating is the littlest you could say, and also speeding in the pit lane as well. But yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I wouldn't be doing that. I think that's, you know, in real life you don't see them doing it, but I suppose we can argue and sit here, oh, it's only a game. But yeah, I don't think that's the right way of doing things. But I'm not one to kind of dig up dirt here, but yeah, that's not the best thing to do. You know, I know it's qualifying, but still, this is a league and this is a professionally run league, and we don't expect that sort of thing to be seen on our streams, really. But turning ourselves back to the action, and let's not talk about that too much. We've got currently everybody out there. Maestro's out there, and now they're all starting to go on their out laps here. And then they're winding themselves up for their final laps here in qualifying. So right now it's very top with the Bacon Yum on pole position by just about a tenth or just under 2/10 of a second. So he is really putting a good old lap there, and he'll be going out again probably towards the end. We've got Jexter in second place, B.R. Hamilton in third, and Mulder in fourth. And they're all in the 18s. They're all right in there in the 18s. Maestro in fifth, Cushion sixth. And Monza is one of those circuits that just makes the field so much more tighter because it's just long straights. There's only 11 corners on this circuit, remember. So there's not a lot of time and a lot of difference in pace around here. And if anything, it could be even anybody's win. I mean, if people can keep it clean, then it can be a good old race between many people. I'd be interested to see what Overkill has done. He's been a little bit quiet in qualifying here. He's only on 19.2, so we'll see if we can find a bit more time in there as well. So let's go and see who's first. Maestro is out there first of all, looking like the first of the guys on the start his lap. So let's go with him and let's see how he's getting on. So through that first chicane, let's see if he can really give it some on this lap, and let's see if he can challenge for pole position here.
Mulder's binned it. It's put it in the wall.
He has. Oh dear. Has he hit off his front wing?
I think he has. Yeah, he tried pushing too much. Tried warming up the tires too much. Got a bit too cocky.
Oh my!
Maestro's
gone as well. Maestro's gone as well. He's hit the wall out of Lesmo 2, and that is his qualifying session out. He's out as well, so it's him and Mulder down. So it means it's all about everybody else in front of them and behind them. So who else have we got on poles right now? Let's see. Jaxter's going for it. Hamilton's going for it. Mulder obviously won't be able to go for it. Cushion's on it as well. But Overkills is on a lap right now. Let's see what he can do. Currently in 7th place. Can he get up the order in his McLaren? Through Ascari now. 5th gear. Turns it in. He's hit on the inside nicely. Not on the cubs too much. He's a good exit. Good run there. So it's been a good combination of corners by Overkills here. Down this straight, preparing himself for the last corner. It's very easy to create all sorts of time here. Down into 5th gear, turns it in nicely. He's a good exit. He's got an alright run here, so let's see what he can do here. Run to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 18.9. That's only second place for Overkill as McLaren driver. So who else is out there right now? We've got Jaxter and BOR Hamilton, the other McLaren. He currently in 4th place. He was right up there in Germany. He's right up here today. A car's on the wall. It's one of the Renaults. And I think that's Kush probably in the wall.
Jaxter's not on the lap either. He's backed
so
out.
It looks like B.R. Hamilton's the only guy who can upset the top position from Bacon Yum here. So here he comes, running to the line. Is an 19.0. That's not an improvement that he needed at all. That's only put him in 4th. He's stayed in 4th place for now. Jaxter, as you mentioned, isn't on a lap. I think that must be it. Kush is not going to improve either. So that is your qualifying session done and dusted. I believe. Yeah, that is it, done. So the Bacon Yum is on pole position for the Italian Grand Prix.
Oh, kicked off at the end there, didn't it?
They all started making mistakes.
This is what I said though. Once we get to this point now where they're, really trying to push the car to its limits, and seeing a lot of people making mistakes. Here we are then. Bacon Yum taking pole position here in Italy. 10th behind, in front of Overkills in 2nd. Jaxter in 3rd place for the Alfa Romeo team. BOR Hamilton in 4th. LCR Mulder in 5th. F1 Maestro 6th in the Ferrari. 7th is VSR Cushmania. 8th Chris Macker-Jones. 9th Aaron Dazzler. 10th Ginger Ninja. 11th Clone Troop. 12th Josu. And 13th Kaisi. So should be an interesting race, I think, after that session.
Yeah, I mean, last season's race at Monza was fantastic as well, so I expect to see very much the same kind of idea around here and the same sort of racing action. So everybody, it looks like it's going to dry start, so that's good. Everybody on the soft tyres, so everyone's going to be pushing absolutely in the earlier phases of the race. No different strategies involved. should be a clear one-stop, transitioning onto probably the soft tyre, I think, and the middle compound that's available. So should be an easy one. Tyre wear around Monza isn't too harsh, so we'll see how this all goes down. We might have a few safety cars here and there, so that could always mix things up in terms of strategy. But fingers crossed with a cracking race, and it's easy to make mistakes. Obviously, we've got that Scar chicane. It is difficult out of there to make a mistake, and the curbs are lethal. So if you ride them too much and too harsh, then it can all go a little bit wrong. So right now, we're just racing for everybody to ready up, and we'll be able to go onto the formation lap and get this race underway.
I don't know about you, Dom, but I'm super pumped for this race. We've got the bourbons and the custard creams out ready.
I got the popcorn ready because you never know. Could be a cracking old race, this one. I think there's going to be a good old battle, particularly between top 6, and even Kush can get involved in that, and even Chris. I think we could have a good old race. It's a slipstream versus race. People, if you can stay in that tow, mate, you're golden around here. I mean, if you lose that tow, I mean, that's the one thing with Monza. If you lose the tow, you're just out of it. But if you stay within that tow, mate, you've got a good chance, and you can actually really get a good race. So let's see how this all goes down here.
It's almost like a oval,
leads them round.
if you could say.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Once you out the tow, you're kind of out of it at that point. But yeah, Bacon Yum to get a 10th gap. You know, bearing in mind everyone else was at about a 10th between each other as a whole. Like, you know, the top 5, excluding Bacon Yum, were about a 10th in it. So for Bacon Yum just to get a 10th front of overkills is pretty important, to be fair. Kind of showing that he is just got that little bit more to give than the rest, and hopefully his race pace backs it up tonight.
Definitely, yeah. And it's an important race for him. He's currently 3rd in that championship, 20 points back. Himself and Mulder are right in it too. So, really important race if he wants to really pull that gap and close up to Jackster and Overkills who are in front of him. The top 4 in the championship are in the top 5. You know, right now in this race, Bacon Yum, Overkills, Jackster, Mulder, they're all in the top 5 of the championship. Is now just everyone's getting disqualified, but they'll be fine as they start the race. They'll be on the grid, forming up anyway. But they might have colder tyres. That's the only problem with that. So here they come, lining up to start this race. This is round 8 of ILR2 Season 5. Anybody's race win, I think, today, and we're going to have a cracking race. Everyone's now going into their grid slots. Here we go, revving for 5 red lights here for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Lights out and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix. Good start from the Bacon Yum. He comes off early from Overkills. He goes to the inside straight away. He knows exactly where he needs to go to defend early from Overkills. He heads into turn 1. He leads into turn 1 ahead of Overkills. We've got the McLaren in the background trying to fight away with the Sauber. Bira Hamilton has got in front of the Sauber of Jackster. He's now in the 3rd place. It's the McLaren 2 and 3, but the Jackster isn't going to give up already. He's in the slipstream of Bira Hamilton. He goes to the right-hand side. Goes to the inside, the Jackster goes on the inside of the McLaren. He's trying his absolute best. They're wheel to wheel, but the Jackster has to leave him room, and already Jackster's now down in 4th place, had to yield there on that one. Kush in 5th place, he's made up some good ground already. Mulder down in the 6th place at the start that he would have wanted. The Maestro is in 7th, but down the order, lots of time lost between Dazzler, Chris, and there's been probably, I think, some contact happening in the background because they've lost so much time to the top 8, top 7. They're, about 3 seconds back already from the top 7 already. So that's been a pretty poor show from them. But going up top, Jackster's chasing down heavily. And Bacon Yum's retired. Where's he gone? He's crashed out of the race. He's gone. He's in the wall out of Ascari. He's out of the race. The Bacon Yum pole sitter has crashed out of Monza on lap 1. That is incredible, as now Overkills now leads this race from Bira Hamilton in 2nd place, Jackster in 3rd, and it's an absolute slipstream fest going into turn 1 once again. But Ben, drama here in Monza, Bacon Yum is out.
You know what? I'm so surprised that that's not a safety car. That's probably one of the disappointing things about this game is the fact that there's barely any safety cars. Like that should have been a safety car for sure. and yeah, could have really thrown up a bit of strategy there. But yeah, some collisions at the back in the background between the two Red Bulls and the Haas car and the Alfa Romeo of Clone Troop. Don't know what really happened to us. They just all tripped over each other. But yeah, that's really good for the two McLaren boys. Currently 1 and 2. But you got to watch out for Jackson and Kush. They're going to be really on it now.
Definitely, and Mulder's now in 5th place again, so after that crash from Bacon Young. And it's so unfortunate, Bacon Young did a fantastic qualifying. Great pole position, and you know, he could have gained so many, you know, some decent points on people ahead of him in the championship, and that's ruined it as Kush nearly makes a mistake as he gets a little bit of oversteer from Mascari, so he's okay. But we can see different strategies being played out. We've got Clone Troop and Josu and Ginger Ninja on soft tyres, mediums for Kaiser. But once again, let's look at Jackson now. He's right on Bill Hamilton's tail. Good old battle, good old scrap in the initial laps by these two. And let's see, Jackson is in the slipstream. He won't have DRS at all at this moment in time, but he'll be looking in the slipstream, looking in the toe. But again, he's too far back to make any sort of impression on the McLaren driver as we head through the first chicane for the 3rd time in this race. But he's right there with him, looking like he's got a little bit more pace than the McLaren driver. But he'd want to try and get ahead of him because Overkills right now is going to gain 10 big points on Joe Jackster in the championship at the moment, and that would mean that as things stand, Overkills would end up being the championship lead. Vera Hamilton now gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, so he needs to be careful on that. He has closed a big time to his teammate Overkills again, so that corner cut definitely has gained him some time, and he'll be right within DRS activation point of Overkills. But the Jackster is going to try his best to keep with Vera Hamilton because he wants to be at the moment, as things stand right now, he is in 2nd place at the moment for this race. The Jackster won't lose up too much, but Hamilton is pushing as hard as he can now through the Escargot chicane. He's got an alright exit. He's over that curb on the right hand side. You've got to be very careful not to spit your car out there, but he's just getting a good old toe, a good old fat toe from Overkills now through Parabolica. A good old exit here. He wants to try and get past his teammate, and the thing is, McLaren might play this strategy where he might even let his teammate go to make sure they get a 1-2 here. But look in the background, Mulder is battling with Kush. They're wheel to wheel, hit the DRS zone, here we go. So it's going to be Kush on the left-hand side, Mulder on the inside, and Kush is squeezing him as far as he can go. But it'll be Mulder on the inside for turn 1 and turn 2. But he's got the inside, and they give each other plenty of space. And it's Mulder on the outside, can have the better exit on the inside of Curva Grande, and he has got on the inside of the Renault driver, and he's got into 4th place. But that isn't all over yet, because what will happen is Kush will get back in the slipstream once again. He'll go to the right-hand side. He goes to the right-hand side, but he can't make the move. He's actually made a mistake there, and he's gone very much off the circuit in that second chicane. And now Marshall's going to try and get past him once again. Try, but no, hasn't got that move done at all.
Yeah, he made a mistake. Well, it all started at the. Well, it started at the second chicane. Really, the car just looking a bit unstable. Yeah, kind of. Not really a term I'd normally use, but kind of driving drunk in a sense. The car just looks all over the place. I mean, we all know he's a talented driver, but you know that car just really does not look like it's planted compared to the Alfa and the Ferrari around it. So, oh, sorry, the Torosso. Sorry, I'm mistaken.
Also, changes at the front, mate. Hamilton overkills now, and overkills in the pressure from the Jackster. So here comes the Jackster in the slipstream of the McLaren driver. He's got the DRS, and so has overkills on his teammate on the inside. The Jackster's gone, brakes very deep, locks the front tyre up, but he's got that move done. A fantastic overtake by Jackster, but look at overkills. He's got the cut back on him now. So here we go, wheel to wheel through Curva Grande. It's going to be absolutely nails biting here as they go wheel to wheel, but there he goes. Overkill's trying to switch back. Can he switch back? No, he can't. He has to stay behind Jackster for now. But continue on with what you're saying, Ben. I didn't catch that. Now Mulder's now got past Kush. Don't talk yet. Bear with. There we go. Mulder's into 4th place ahead of Kush once again. These two continuing to battle away, but Kush has got a penalty, so he's been extending the limits. But once again, here comes Kush in the DRS of Mulder, and he's going to look for a move potentially on the inside. Is he going to go on the inside? No, he's not going to risk it into Ascari. No way, Jose. Is he going to try that? But Maestro looking very good. And you know what? Kush just compromises his line. Here comes Maestro to the left-hand side. He's going to go for it. on the very much left-hand side, but has he got enough speed in that Ferrari to go around the outside of the driver? He's going to try it, brake a little bit later, it's wheel-to-wheel for Parabolica, and it's the Ferrari driver who comes out ahead of the Renault driver. A great move by F1 Maestro, who's sensed his opportunity. Kush is into the pit lane, so he'll be looking to get an undercut on the cars ahead. Ben, now continue.
Yeah, he just seemed to be trying to, Kush trying to make an overtake around the outside of the second chicane just isn't going to happen. And he paid the price for it twice. But yeah, he seems a bit frustrated with Mulder just not being able to get past him. And kind of just not really thinking about it too much and just making these little mistakes. But yeah, great move from Maestro, really taking advantage of Kush, but it's not a big gap between the two McLarens, but it's almost like Hamilton's kind of checked out a bit, but he's still got Jackson right behind him, so it's far from over, and Jackson looking like the faster driver at the moment, with Hamilton getting another penalty. That's like 6 seconds right now, so you might want to cut that out quick.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, at the moment, Jackson is leading this race. The real battle for me. Oh dear. Out of Ascari, mate. It's out of Ascari again. And it's so easy. That inside curb is on the third part of Ascari is so sticky. And if you get it wrong, you're into that wall. He's okay. He's running again. He'll be able to pit in. I mean, the pit window is soon, so it's not too bad. But it's just not ideal. He's done all that hard work. Got past. He got past Kush, but that's ended in tears there. But look at this. Let's turn our eyes back to that top 3 battle that we've all been talking about all race long. For the first 7 laps, it's all very tight. Again, these top 3 are going for it. But the real battle, really, before that all happened, is Jackson and Overkills. Those two are the ones who are really going for this race win, because as it stands, B.R. Hamilton's got so many penalties that the Jackson and Overkills are really fighting for this race win as it stands. So the two championship leaders, Jackson being the championship leader and Overkills in second place, are going for it here in Monza. And it's a cracking battle. We want to see these championship rivals go for it. But at the moment, they're looking like they're going to break clear of the Becky Yum, who is now in third place in the championship and might even drop further behind now, because Mulder is in fourth and will probably outscore him here too. But once again, look at that. Look at Overkills gets a better exit than the Jackster here. He's in the slipstream. He won't have any DRS until the next straight, but we've got blue flags out, obviously, for the Red Bull driver of Kaisi. Now Overkills now through Parabolica. Ninja gets a penalty for corner cutting as well. So here comes Overkills in the slipstream once again. We'll have the DRS. Let's go on board with the McLaren driver. Let's see what he can do. He's in the tow. He's slipstreaming as much as he can down this straight. Looks to the inside. He does not go for the inside at all. He does not even go for a look. He's just too far back. But once again, B.R. Hamilton slows it all up, and the Jackster gets a good exit here. He's in the slipstream. We won't have any DRS, but we'll be using as much ERS as he can possibly. He's got a good tow, but again, he's probably too far back to make any sort of impression on B.R. Hamilton. As now Cushman is the fastest up the race at 22.377, so he'll be looking to try and get some sort of undercut on the cars ahead after he made that mistake earlier on. Once again, Jackster losing it a little bit through Lesmo 1, and Lesmo, he's got a little bit of oversteer seemingly in the car. Here's a good exit here, as the B.R. Hamilton's looking like he's lagging a little bit on my screen with that much speed. The spectator cam might not be anything that's actually happening there. Once again, look at Overkills right on the Jackster, but behind, I mean, we've got Mulder there behind, so if things happen between these top 3, Mulder's going to be right in the driving seat.
Looking very close between the top 3, I think. Hamilton needs to be very cautious of Jackson, because Jackson looking very strong on the brakes going into turn 1, so gonna have to watch out for that as they actually enter the pit. So that's Hamilton out of the equation, but Overkills is going to have the DRS on Jackson. Is he going to be able to go up the inside? He's going to try it and backs out of it.
Yeah, I think he wasn't able to make it stick because Jackson had DRS still on B.R. Hamilton. But Overkills lost a little bit of time out of the first chicane there, and actually had a really poor exit. He's now down to 8 tenths behind, so not great by Overkills if he wants to stay within DRS activation of the Jackson. It's really important that he does around here. But Mulder behind is closing the gap up, actually. He's steadily closing it up, so he could be in the running towards the end of the race. But look, that gap is now 9/10, and now a second now. So Overkill's worryingly, he's dropped back a little bit, and I'm so surprised that he's got DRS, he hasn't got it. So he was out of activation there, and looking like that Jack's just trying to really put the hammer down almost, and try and get a good end lap here.
Yeah, Jack's basically checking out. Just absolutely left Overkills after that, and not gonna lie, I think he's also out of DRS ranges as well, which is interesting. So Jack's are really piling on the pressure on Overkills to push, but from looks of it, I don't think Overkills has much of an answer.
Definitely not, mate. Yeah, he's now out of activation DRS. Kush now gets another penalty for the corner cutting. But it's all settled down a little bit. We've got Dazzler behind Clone Troop. That might be one to watch. But I think Clone Troop actually has overtaken Dazzler, because it looks like Dazzler will probably start struggling on those super softs. But he's within DRS activation of the Sauber drivers, so you never know. We might be able to stick with him for now. But going back to that top 2 battle, again, yeah, you mentioned he's checked out, and he really has. It's trying to, but now the gap's trying to it's now stabilising the gap. So let's see if he's within DRS activation now. He's actually 9/10, but was that 9/10 when the DRS was available? It is actually, it is now available, so he's gone for it. He'll close up all down the straight, so that might be a thing where maybe Overkill's popped it down in engine mode maybe, and he was just staying a little bit of ERS that lap, potentially. Because it's very strange to lose sort of a second at that time, out of nowhere. You don't lose a second for no reason. But look at that exit he's got for Ascari. He's really caught up against the Jaxer. So he's conserved that ERS that lap and saved it for a couple of laps. And he's back on him again. And look at how close he is on him. Through Parabolica we go again. Look how twitchy Jaxer's out of the exit. He's back. He's into the pit lane now. He's going to get the undercut on Overkills. Overkills says it for another lap. And let's bear in mind, BR Hamilton's pitted so early for mediums. So it looks like, obviously, if Hamilton gets a undercut, well, he won't last long, because he'll be really struggling on those tyres towards the end of the race as Overkills continues on, and he'll have to really push it this lap. LCR Mulder's in the pit lane now as well. LCR Mulder, he's actually in the pit lane. He's on the exit. But everybody else, obviously, got the soft runners of Clone Troop and Josu. They've been on those soft tyres for a bit, so they're on different strategies. But your current race leader, Overkills, is out there now. Needs a good in-lap if he's to respond. Now, Kush gets another corner cutting penalty. That's probably his 3rd of the race.
Yeah, I think Overkills really needs to push this one, but I think going to have to watch the times in a minute. I mean, Hamilton just behind Jaxer, so very close between them. But I think Overkills might get jumped by both of them, actually, because
a Red Bull span. Is that Josu? No, it's not. It's probably the backmark off Kaiser. Okay. Yeah, continue on with what you say.
But yeah, I think Jackson jumped Hamilton. I think he did. So we'll see now as Overkills enters the pits, and if I'm not wrong, he could well and truly get jumped.
That makes no sense though, because BR Hamilton got jumped by the Jackster, so the medium was not running, was not working as well as it could have done. But let's see, he's on the exit now, so let's see where the Jackster is in comparison. So Overkill's on the exit, he will get jumped by the Jackster. Does he get jumped by BR Hamilton? He will. So yeah, he has been jumped, but he comes out importantly in front of Kush. That was the biggest thing he needed to do here. So now, good old battle here. He'll have better tyres than BR Hamilton. BR Hamilton will really struggle on those medium tyres because they're older and they're just not as durable as those soft tyres, those metal compounds. So anytime soon, as now Overkill tries to get in the groove on those tyres, he'll be probably past BR Hamilton as soon as he can. And it looks like he'll probably try and get the hammer down very quickly, as now Kush gets another penalty. So he's reeling in the penalties today, is Kush, as Overkills really struggles for understeer out of Lesmo 2. And you know what? He's under pressure from the Renault driver here, so he's really got to make sure he stays in front of Kush. Kush doesn't take any prisoners here. He won't take any prisoners, and any weakness, he'll go for it. But Overkills just needs to focus. And now, oh, goes Kush. He's hit the wall, and he's hit off his front wing, and that is his race over. He's retired from the race, so that is it. He's done and dusted. Jinxed it, I think, but you know what? That's fine. Overkills is now within BR Hamilton's range, so he's gonna have DRS on him down this long pit straight. He's closing and closing all the time now. Is he going to have a good look? No, he's not. He's just too far back. And this is all allowing the Jackson to get away here. So BR Hamilton might not put up much of a fight here, just so Overkills doesn't lose too much time. Actually, you know what? There we go. Told you, called it. He's pulled over to the right-hand side, let his teammate go. And Overkills continues on his way to try and get behind the Jackster. He's 1.7 back on him, so he's got time to recuperate. And we've seen in the past he was able to recuperate the ERS earlier on and catch up to the Sauber driver, so he can do that again. It's all possible for the McLaren driver. So it's all set in stone, and let's see if he can close up to the Jackster in the next coming laps and give us a good old battle for the race win, because the race win is between the Jackster and Overkills, because these two haven't got any penalties at this point in time. So let's see if we can have a good old battle for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looks like Hamilton's out of it at the minute. He's going to lose what will effectively be third place to Mulder, that's for sure. But now let's see who's the quicker driver on the softs. Is it going to be Overkills or Jackster?
Mulder's really wide out of Parabolica, but he's got a good exit anyway, so he got fast off the race, slipstream, DRS, everything he won. And you know what, I don't think BR Hamilton will put much of a fight here. He's going to let him have it to the left-hand side, and he's got that move done. In the DRS, Mulder up to 4th, that'll be 3rd place once Josu actually pits. So Overkills and Mulder and Jackster will have some good points today, and looks like Mulder will actually gain big time on the Bacon Yum and probably be within 3rd place. But look at that, BR Hamilton's coming back at him once again, but doesn't look like he's going to make any sort of move on him as Mulder stays in 4th place ahead of BR Hamilton. We'll keep with this battle for a few more laps, for a few more corners, because DRS activation is soon, so you never know. Hamilton might have a chance on him. Out of Lesmo 2. Now DRS for the McLaren driver. Let's see if he can close back up to him again. 6 tenths behind. That will turn probably into 4 tenths by the end of the straight. And looking like he stays in front for now. So BR Hamilton is actually, Mulder now gets a penalty. So, but that doesn't really matter, because I think BR Hamilton's got plenty of penalties. So Mulder won't actually lose too much. He'll probably still be in 3rd place. Overkills, again, not really closing up on the Jackster. The Jackster looks like he's got it all under control. It's now 1.7, 1.8 seconds the gap. That's now Jackster goes fast off the race, but now Overkills actually displaces that fast off the race. 22.152. So good lap there by Overkills. Trading fastest up to the race, but he really needs to get within the DRS activation of the third driver to have any chance of making a move on him. But at the moment, everyone's sort of settled into their groove. Everyone's on their strategies. We've got medium runners, soft runners. I mean, Joshua hasn't pitted yet, so we'll see what he'll do. He might even switch onto a set of soft tyres, super soft tyres. You never know. But he might have a really quick race car towards the end of the race. Everyone's all settled down. We had a really good, dramatic first few laps, first 5-7 laps, and after all the pit stops have happened, it's all sort of calmed down. Everybody's in their race rhythm. Everyone's just trying to get into that rhythm, gain that momentum with 12 more laps to go. But it's all still to play for. Now Overkills is closed up to 1.5 to the Jackster, so he's taking out a few tenths in this lap here. So once again, looks like Kai. I don't know if Kai's actually racing at the moment, because he's off circuit. No, he is racing. He's just out there. Josu now, though, is going to be overtaken by Jackster. Jackster to the inside. Pretty much a done deal. And didn't really put much of a fight up to Josu. He's on different strategies, so no point holding up Jackster if they're on different strategies here. But now Overkills will try and push on as much as he can. and the gap is coming down a tad. So you never know if Overkill can just keep pushing on and keep. I mean, the main thing is try and keep Jackster under pressure a little bit. If he can keep within one and a half seconds range, then you know the pressure's still on because it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable race win at all. Actually, the gap to leader Overkill is 2.2 actually, so the gap hasn't closed down. Sorry, so really, Jackster is doing everything he needs to do. A solid drive, and he's pulling that gap every time. But Overkill's, I mean, he had good pace earlier on, but it doesn't look like he's delivering on all cylinders at the moment to really change the race win here. And he's now coming under pressure from Mulder in a minute, if he's not careful. Chris Jones gets a 15 time penalty. He's currently running 6th, so good stuff by Chris. He's having a good old race here. There we go. Top 2 now, as Josu has now pitted. It's now Jackster who now finally leads the race once again. And Overkill is in 2nd place. There's now a 2.1 second gap. Mulder's now in 3rd place, chasing after Overkill for that 2nd place. And Bear Hamilton's now in 4th place. Josu, let's see where he comes out. He'll be behind Chris, looking like it. So Chris is now in 5th place. So good drive by Chris. Very careful, very sort of silent, and just getting on with it really. So good stuff from Chris there. On 8-lap old medium, so we'll see how he gets on towards the end of the race in those tyres. But again, the gap 1.7 now between the Jackster and Overkill, so that gap is closing again. And strategically, Overkill is using the ERS when he wants to and doing what he needs to do. And you got obviously Mulder behind him now. So if he's going to start catching up Jackster, he'll start pulling Mulder along with him. So that's going to be one thing to watch out for.
I think we'll have a check on penalties as of now.
Yeah, let's see where everyone is on position. Why is now Mulder's within half a second of Overkill's here, so you never know. He might have a good opportunity in turn 1 if he gets a good run for Parabolica. So let's see if he goes. He's within half a second now. Hits the DRS now. Mulder's is fast on the race, so here he comes in the slipstream of the McLaren driver. But I just don't think he's touching up this time around, so he won't be able to make it stick. He brakes super late, but yeah, he closes up in the braking zone, but he's not able to make a move. But gets a alright exit through the first chicane. Again, 4/10 is closing as he's in the slipstream. He'll be using the ERS, and he's not got much energy left though, only 21%. But he has closed up, but he's just not close enough to make a move into the 2nd chicane at the moment. So he's got to stick behind him for now. But they have an opportunity if he gets a good exit through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. So you need to concentrate on these 2 corners. And he might have a good opportunity out of Lesmo 2 to mount an attack on the McLaren driver. But not many people make moves into Ascari, and it's not an easy corner to make an overtake up. You have to be real close to the car ahead. But he is in that slipstream more importantly, so he is closing up. Again, he's just too far back to make any sort of move on him. Through Ascari we go. He needs a good exit through here. Again, the gap between the top 2, 1.5 seconds. It's stabilising here. Mulder right there with Overkill, and the gap is really closed up. And really, Overkill can't afford to lose his position to Mulder. Mulder does have penalties, yes, but if Mulder can't pull the gap to the Jackster, then it's all done. And now look at that, Mulder is right in DRS activation now. He goes to the right hand side. You know what? Overkill has not even battled that. He's let him go. He's not even gone for that. It's no point. DRS is so powerful around here that he had no chance to defend that at all. So now Mulder's in 2nd place. He has to build that gap. He's got a penalty, remember, so he has to build that gap if he wants to stay in 2nd place. And if anything, he has to get in front of the Jackster if he's to beat Overkill in this race. Ben, let's talk about penalties.
Yeah, so Mulder has penalty, but the Jackster and Overkills do not. So even though Overkills has got to watch it because he is 1 away from it, but Jackster's fine.
Fair enough. So looking like Jackster's all set if he can keep it all steady and under control, because right now he has stabilised that gap and he's kept it at 1.5 to 2 seconds. He's been in that window where he's just kept it all clean and he's just kept the gap going, and he's just really managing the race at the moment. But Overkill's still sticking with Mulder, so you never know. Now BRR Hamilton gets another penalty, so he could be in danger if he's not careful. Chris Jones might be right there with him if he continues on those penalties. I think Hamden might have four penalties, and Christian has one, I think, from memory. So it looks like at the moment everything is staying. I mean, it could mean that as gaps stay the same, Chris Jones might even be in 4th place if things work out.
Nah, Hamilton only has 3. Chris has 1.
Yeah, 3. Fair enough. We've still got plenty of life left. 7 more laps to go in this race. Looking like things are starting to settle down here. Overkill's potentially settled for 2nd here, Ben, do you think? Maybe he's considered that he hasn't got the pace on the Jackster, and he's just let Mulder go and hope that Mulder can close the gap and hopefully he can follow with him. Is that his strategy? Do you think that's what's going through his head?
Well, it's probably going to have to be the case because, well, if Mulder don't ditch him as well, yeah, probably the way it's going to have to be. I think he's just pushed too hard on those set of tyres now. They're absolutely destroyed before he even gets to the finish, so he's just got to hold on, really.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's all set for 2nd place, but it doesn't mean that at the moment, as things stand, it would mean that Jackster will end up extending the lead in the championship to 15 points. So, just hope Overkill's probably will just try and bring it home now and just keep within 3 seconds of Mulder. But he's still going to go for it. He probably doesn't know the car ahead of his penalty, so he's still going to go for it. This is for position. He wants it for position. He's in the slipstream. He's looking for it, but again, I think he just close at DRS early? I swear he just did. He pressed it early and didn't even brake. He pressed it before he broke. So I do think that he's again just sticking behind the Toro Rosso driver. Again into the 2nd chicane once again. And the gap now 1.3 between Mulder and Jackster, so you never know. This might be an early sprint to around. Let's see what Jackster's doing on ERS. 49, 50%, so he's alright, he's okay. But behind him, Mulder and Overkills are pushing on, so you never know. We might have a little... I'm hoping, Ben, we have a good old fight and scrap for the lead towards the end of the race, maybe.
Yeah, we could do, but I don't think it'll happen. I think, as I say that.
Oh, he's gone? Where is he gone? Is he in the... He's DNF, he's crashed out, isn't he? He's gone again. Championship leader, Jackster, is out here. And every time that happens, we keep missing it. We don't see it happen. So it means LCM... You saw it? Was it Al-Ascari again?
Yep.
Wow. But it's so... Again, it's easy to do. It is easy to do. But that's another chance for the Jackster where he's... Last time out, it wasn't his fault. It was a thing with the pit lane. And he lost out there. But here, now, the tables have just turned. Overkills is looking good for race victory here. Mulder obviously in the race lead for now. But this is an opportunity for Mulder to gain some massive points on the Jackster as well. So these top 2 are going to gain incredible points. But now Mulder's going to start trying to push as hard as he can because he just wants to try and extend that gap and hopefully bring it out to 3 seconds so they can keep hold of this race win. 5 laps to go here in Monza. Drama everywhere. Championship contenders out. Bacon Yum in lap 1. Jackson now here. He's out of the race as well. So 2 hour championship contenders have knocked themselves out of this race and it means big gains for LCR Mulder and Overkills here. Now, Overkills, can he stay within 3 seconds? And it's important that he does, because if he can stay within 3 seconds, he'll be able to lead this championship by 17 points at the end of this race. So he needs to really stick with Mulder here. We head on to lap 23 out of 27 here in Monza for this absolutely dramatic Italian Grand Prix where everything that could happen has happened. Championship contenders actually have gone out in this race like they did in Germany. So this championship is really going to close up big time. Mulder is in 4th. He's going to be right up there, closing that gap up. And he'll be within a good shout on the Jackster. He'll be probably 15 points behind at the end of the race. Things continue. And yeah, we go through now. Overkill sticking with Mulder, not letting him get away. But now we've only got 9 runners left in this race. So Ben, let's talk about this. I mean, in terms of this race, how's it all gone? One thing I will have to mention though is Chris Jones. He's in 4th place on penalties. He's got what, 1 penalty, and Bear Hamilton's got 3. If that's right. So maybe it's not enough. It's probably not enough at the moment. But Chris is trying to close that gap down. It was about 8.6 earlier. Now it's only 7.3. So you never know. Chris might have a little good chance at a cheeky podium here if he can continue closing that gap to BR Hamilton. But yeah, Ben, in terms of the race itself, it's been a good race so far with 4 more laps to go. Big gains, and what are your thoughts on losing championship contenders?
You know what? Quite surprising. I didn't think Sky would take that many people, but clearly another one bite the dust. I think that's the right phrase to say. But it's not over yet. Overkills can easily just pick up a warning and then get a penalty, then Mulder's won the race. So it's still not done yet. But,
Definitely not, and Overkills.
Very tense.
There's Country gets a 3-second time penalty. Overkills is now dropped back within sort of 1.1 seconds of LCR Mulder. So the gap is closed, is now coming out a bit, and you never know if LCR Mulder can get out of the sort of slipstream zone. Yellow's in sector 3. I wonder who that is for. The control is dropped and disconnected. So yeah, Overkills has slowed it all the way down. It's now 1.2, 1.3. The gap is really opening up again. So Overkills has backed off. Now I'm worried that now Country's now got a 5 seconds to go penalty. Retirement for him. Again, he was in good points. Yes, he had some good points on there, and it's all gone to waste. But another battle to watch out for is Josu and Chris, because that gap is now half a second. Chris was closing on BR Hamilton, and if Josu can get past Chris, he might have a shot at the podium here if he can close up on BR Hamilton towards the end of the race. Unless Josu's got penalties, so I don't know if he has. He might have one, maybe. So he's through Parabolic as Josu loses the rear end. Oh, that's a good catch from him. He's okay. But look, Chris is now 6.8 behind BR Hamilton. Ben, can you check on penalties on BR Hamilton and Chris for me?
Still the same, I believe. Yeah, it's only one penalty for Mulder, none for Overkills.
No, I mean Hamilton and Chris.
Oh, Hamilton and Chris. Oh, my bad. 1, 2. Yeah, still just three for Hamilton, 1 for Chris, and it's coming down quick.
He needs. Yeah, that gap is closing up, isn't it? It's now 6.7. And if he continues at this rate, he's going to be within 6 seconds of BR Hamilton. He might be on for a podium here. He just needs to continue pushing on here. He needs to be careful, though, that he doesn't pick up another penalty. That's the main thing for Chris. He doesn't want to pick up another penalty, but he's closing that gap. He's really reeling in BR Hamilton. The gap is 6.7, but it's coming out a little bit, so it still might be all okay for BR Hamilton, but it is close. Gap between the top two, 1.8 seconds, but as things stand, Overkills will be the race winner on penalties.
He's got to be careful though, he can make one mistake and then it's over, so I'll be very careful.
Mulder is pushing though. If you look at his ERS usage, he goes really wide out of the second chicane. He's using that ERS big time. He's trying to push that gap. He's trying to push it open to get within 3 seconds because he knows he has a penalty. He doesn't know about Overkills, but he knows he has one, and he has to get that gap out to 3 seconds if he has any chance of winning this race. So he has been pushing his Torosov really hard now, and the gap has now started to decrease once again because as LCR Mulder uses ERS, the Overkills behind him hasn't used it, as now Josu gets a 3-second time penalty. So in regards to the battle between Josu and Chris, that is pretty much done, I think. Chris, 6.3 behind BR Hamilton. That gap is closing up every lap. 3/10 a lap. It is on for Chris here. He can do it. So last corner, as we start the last lap for the Italian Grand Prix. It's been a phenomenal race. We've only got 8 runners left, but it has been drama everywhere. Championship leaders like Bacon Yum and Jackster out of this race. But it means big gains for LCR Mulder and overkills. And the gap's now 2 seconds. But we're going through the first chicane for the final time here in Monza. And watch that gap from for Chris there, 6.1 between himself and Bear Hamilton. He's got a fantastic opportunity there. But LCR Mulder completes the first sector for the final time here. Goes for the second chicane cleanly and wants to try and extend that gap. He's pushing as hard as he can. He's used pretty much all that ERS possible. He'll gain it in the brakes, remember, obviously as the ERS will recharge itself. But the gap is opening up. It's now 2.2. And it might even be 2.3 out of Lesmo 2 if it's all careful. It will probably be 2.3. It's all close. They're all really pushing. Overkill is trying to stay within 3 seconds. Overkill, how is he using on his ERS? He is using it quite a lot, so he is pushing on 2. Mulder through Ascari. Here he comes. He's got a clean exit. He has got a good exit. It's now 2.4, and it's gaining all the time. Now 2.3 out of the exit, so I think Overkill has done enough. We head through the final corner for the final time here in Monza. Maestro's fast lap of race, 20.748. That won't be beaten, but it's LCR Mulder out of the final corner here in Monza. Has he done enough? Is a run to the line? It probably won't be enough. He'll win here in Monza across the line first, but it'll be Overkills on penalties who gets it. Fantastic stuff by Overkills. He wins in Monza. B.R. Hamilton through the last corner here in Monza. Can he stay and keep third place? It's 2.4. Chris actually is battling away with Josu here, so actually it will be B.R. Hamilton in third place. Chris will come home in fourth place in the end. He misses out on the podium just by 0.3 of a second. Josu in fifth, Aaron Dazzler in sixth, and Maestro now is through Lesmo 2. He's bringing it home. He's probably going to still continue to try and get another fast lap of race, but he's got that all pretty much now and done and dusted. But Ben, good race I think in the end. It was tight for Chris. It's a shame for him. I like Chris a lot, and it's a shame he couldn't get on the podium there. But there you go. That's your top 3 here. McLaren gained massively in the Constructors' Championship because that means they were originally in second. They finished first and third here, and going to be solid points for them as Bacon Young didn't score for Toro Rosso. Through the final corner for F1 Maestro. So Maestro to the line, and yep, good old celebratory weaving. GSY Ninja to the line, and he finishes last position and in the points with 4th place.
What a race that was. Turned very, very tense at the end. As we wait.
So there we go. Super race by Overkill. Really well managed. And I'm just checking the Twitter chat. He just managed it towards the end. He said basically just try to keep it and bring it home, and that's what he did. A superb job, and he's winning here again. Gains massively on the Jackster after Jackster crashed out, and he now leads his championship by 17 points going into the last 3 races, which are America, Japan, and Brazil. So this championship has just turned on its head, and it's now the scales have turned once again. But there you go, Ben. Here's the results.
Right then, so Overkill wins the Italian Grand Prix with Mulder just behind in second place, 7 tenths separating them. Then you got B.R. Hamilton in third place with Chris Macker-Jones behind in 4th. Josu in 5th, Aaron Dazzler in 6th place in the Haas, F1 Maestro in 7th, Ginger Ninja in 8th, and Clone Troop in 9th with Jackson 10th, but 9th onwards are DNFs.
Mate, that is it for the Italian Grand Prix. We're going to get the top 3 into the party. And yeah, Ben, I think you have to go, don't you?
I do. Right, I'll see you guys next week.
Awesome.
Make sure you say my congrats to the top 3. But yeah, I'll be back next week. Bye bye.
In a bit. Right. Let's get these boys into the party and let's see what they have to say about that race. I hope you guys enjoyed it on the stream, and if you're watching it back on YouTube, on the ILR YouTube, or even on my YouTube, then I hope you guys did enjoy it. I'll get these top 3 in. So let's invite Overkills in. Order in. Hello. That's it. That was quick, boys. Nice. You guys included your audio. Right. Okay, so let's run through top three. So overkills, mate. P1 here in Monza. Let's talk about your race. How did that all go for you?
Don't know. Actually, I thought pace was pretty consistent, but there's quicker guys in here, which I was just like staying in the tow, making sure I was staying with them because I know they've got pace, and that just worked out for me in the end, And staying in the tow as well, using them as reference points, helped me on my way to get no penalties, which in conclusion gave me the race win tonight.
Yeah, definitely, mate. You did more of a calculated drive tonight, I think. I mean, pace looked pretty good in the tow, as you mentioned, and it also was really important for your race. But let's talk about that all-important championship. Obviously, Jackster,
Yep.
you were in that battle with the Jackster earlier on in the race,
Yep.
and throughout the whole race, indeed. And the gap was obviously growing and growing a little bit, but then when he lost to Alvascari, I mean, you had to stay within sort of slipstream of LCR mold. It was a great battle between you two as well towards the end. How important was it for you to kind of stay in that slipstream and stay within 3 seconds of mold and try and gain so many points on the Jackster in the end?
Crucial, because if I didn't get, if I didn't stay on that tower, I probably would have fallen back beyond Mulder with his pens a lot over 3 seconds. So that would be P2 in the race. That would be an extra 7 points that Jax has got to gain on me. So it might come down to that. You just don't know.
Exactly, yeah. And in terms of the twists and turns in this championship, I mean, Jackster was super consistent before Germany, and obviously here, and he's crashed out here. Germany wasn't his fault, but I mean, you've got to keep the gap going, haven't you? Really, because anything can happen in this championship, as we've seen with the Jackster.
It's just disappointing last time out as well, Bakingham and Jackster both DNF, but then pit stop glitch caused me and Hamilton to drop points massively. So I think tonight's just really vengeance for that. So I had pace around there. I felt and got a challenge for the podium, and no stopped, unfortunately. So yeah.
Yeah, mate, congrats once again. And in terms of the next few circuits, America, Japan, Brazil, how are you looking going into those races? What are you kind of going for? What's your pace like around those circuits?
I think USA's a little bit strong for me, but that might not be the case. Japan, with it being a wheel track, it's obviously favoured towards us. Maybe Jack will drop down a little bit there because he's on pad. But you don't know again, because I've seen Chris be strong around there and he's on the pad, so we'll see about that.
Yeah.
And then Brazil, I hope my pace is good because I always want to finish the season off with a high finish. So just want to get that win probably.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, continue what you're doing because at the moment it's you're doing everything you need to do to try and to keep keep the gap. Yeah.
Yes.
LCR Mulder, has he got a mic? I don't know if last week did he have a mic last week? No, he doesn't. Mulder, mate, if you want to put in the chat, your thoughts on the race, and I'll read it out on the stream if you like. So I'll read it out, but I'll turn my eyes to BR Hamilton. Third place today, mate. Good solid points for McLaren in the Constructors' Championship, and a solid result for you. How was that race for yourself?
I was very happy with the first and obviously qualifying P4, and I managed to reach the P1, but ultimately got the strategy wrong today with going on the mediums. I thought maybe the undercut would have been a bit more powerful, but it turned out I came out behind Jackster, and only just ahead of Overkills, and obviously they could push much harder on the mediums, and I'm on the softs rather than me on the mediums. And I was picking up too many pens, to be honest, and I honestly luckily got. I wasn't really happy with the pace, but luckily managed to get the P3 today with I think it was 3 tenths, wasn't it, to Chris Macker-Jones, because I had 9 seconds. So close, but I mean, I'm very happy with the result, but I think I need to improve on pens and pace overall.
Yeah, I mean, your qualifying pace was really, really good actually. I mean, generally, I mean, the strategy you mentioned obviously didn't do you justice today. I think in Germany, you had a good pace there in qualifying as well, and didn't get the result there. So, uh, I think this weekend you finally got the kind of a decent result. I mean, looking forward to the next few races. I mean, what do you mentioned penalties and sort of consistency? Is that what you're kind of trying to work on to try and get those better results going forward?
Yeah, obviously I'm new to the league and trying to adjust the penalties and everything. And I mean, I did a bit better this. I mean, I think in Germany I could have got a much better result, but after
Mm.
that pit lane glitch. But honestly, I'm happy with the result, and it was improvement from last week, so I'm just happy with that. And yeah, looking forward to is it Japan next week? So
America next week, yeah.
America. Alright, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, in terms of those next few circuits, I mean, how good are they for you? Which ones have you got your eyes on in particular?
Um, well, I think it's Brazil, which is the last race. I'm looking forward to that a lot, and USA is definitely going to be next week's definitely going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. And I think if you just continue to improve, I mean, you are definitely improving. I mean, you could be on for some even challenging. I think the pace is you've got the raw talent and the raw pace there. Just hopefully, you can deliver on getting the consistency going, and you'll be right there in the hunt. I think definitely. In terms of obviously the constructor championship, obviously for you, both yourself and Overkills. I mean, big gains today. Torosso lost Bacon Yum earlier on in the lap one. I think he crashed out of. I think it was the Ascari chicane when he was leading. So he bottled a good result today. I mean, how to you? Obviously, how important is the constructors to you? Probably not that important, but it just shows how good of a teammates you are in terms of delivering the results together.
Yeah, I was happy to let Overkills go through in the second sector, and in the second
Mm.
stint, after he was much faster than me, and I mean, getting first and third today is definitely going to help us in the constructors.
Definitely, mate. We saw that on stream, and I thought that was great teamwork between the two of you. So well done to both yourself and Overkill today. And I'll read out what Mulder put in the chat on the stream. So he goes, I don't know what happened to my wheel in quali, but I binned it by that. So started from P5 with a really difficult start with a bit of an aggressive battle with Kush, and that was we watched that on stream. Kush was really aggressive on lap one, and he then Mulder's fought my way back, and the pace was pretty good. So I get to the top guys again, and Mulder did a superb job to come back. Actually, he was. I mean, I think he was outside the top three, and then he just closed it up in the second stint. So it was superb. So great job by Mulder today to cross the line on the lead. Obviously on penalties he lost it, but again Mulder again has also closed up points on the top three like he did in Germany. But that's it for the stream. We'll be back next week for the American Grand Prix. So that should be an interesting one at Kota. But yeah, be sure to watch back the race on YouTube and on the ILR YouTube. So both myself and I'll put it on my YouTube first, and then it'll be on ILR's YouTube secondly. Yeah, join us next week for Kota, and hopefully the championship continues in terms of a great battle between the top four in particular. So we'll see you next week, guys, and